Okay, it's June 20th, 6:45 PM. We're in the second floor conference room. Let's call to order the Personnel Finance Committee meeting, and we'll start with introductions.
Kevin Stunick, Alderman at Large.
Connie Hillman, City Finance Director.
Jennifer Bergman, City Administrator.
Tiffany Stingline, Ward 3.
Sean Strong, City IT.
John Nelson, Crow Wing County Facilities.
Paul Sandy, working for WSB, Interim City Engineer.
James Gronvik, Community Development Director.
Teresa Burke, Brainerd Dispatch.
Kim Johnson, Chair of the Committee. We have 6 items to deal with tonight. The first one is to consider a cable channel agreement with Central Lakes College.
Okay. So
Baseball tournament this weekend.
before you today, we got the contract to sign with CLC, or at least consider signing. It's a initially 3-year contract. I don't know if anybody read through it. 90 days to cancel, blah, 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 blah. Lines up with CLC's financial quarter, financial year, which is July 1st. Finance-wise, I guess I was under the assumption that we had 3 years worth of PEG channel money sitting around, but I guess it's not quite that simple. But Connie has this finance stuff in there, so I guess money questions I might defer to Connie. But otherwise, if there's any questions about the contract, if you approve this and we get signatures from CLC, we should be on the air, hopefully July 5th would be the next council meeting. It's a Tuesday.
For all those CTC customers, right?
Yeah, at this point, Charter still does not have the hardware, so that would be the case. Yeah.
All right, so the motion is to enter into an agreement with Central Lakes College to host and operate the cable channel.
And I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions?
I think what Sean was concerned about is for 2022, we will probably be over the budgeted line item for broadcasting meeting expenses with getting the equipment and that kind of stuff. We said we were gonna wait and see how the year turned out to see if we needed to transfer money back from Fund 400 into the general fund to help pay for this, or if we would just let it kind of roll through.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week, and I think it's just easiest if we just let it roll through and see what it looks like at the end of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we went a little bit over budget as far as what we thought the equipment was gonna cost, and then just the timing of when we're paying for it also was causing the issue between the budget years.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next up is to consider the shared services agreement with Crow Wing County.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission. Attached to your packet is the third amendment between the City of Brainerd and Crow Wing County. As you recall, back in 2019, we entered into our first agreement with Crow Wing County to provide maintenance services to our facilities and our grounds at City Hall, Police Department, Fire Department, both the main fire hall and also the Northeast Station, as well as the library. Our first year, we tried 2080 hours for $120,000. Quickly found out that that was too many hours. However, both 2020 and 2021 were really difficult years to try to gauge that because of COVID and then also our remodel. But we did drop that number down to 1,500 hours. And last year that we used about 1,350, so we feel like we're pretty close to that amount. In 2020 and in 2020, or 21 and in 2022, the county charged us $80,050 a month, or $96,600, and then the library paid $625 a month of that as well. They held their price in 2022. They are proposing an increase for 2023 to the amount of it would total of $95,700 a year on the city's cost, and then the library covers $675 per month. The city's portion would be $7,975 per month. John is here if you have questions regarding the contract. He did include some information in your packet that shows the work order summary broken out in the circle graphs, and then on the bar graphs were what it would cost to have services outside of the county based on the county's research on cost for services. Earlier today you were sent a corrected bar graph, and so you should have that either via email or upstairs. It will be printed out.
I'm
I'm not an expert in Excel. When I made these graphs, I clicked on the wrong column, I think, and duplicated a graph, so I want to make sure you got the right data.
Okay, so there's a lot of jumbled information here.
Okay.
Just start up, no, in the memo from the city here, so I'm just gonna try and clarify something so I understand. We started out $120,000 for 2080. Didn't use it, didn't seem to need that. So we reduced it to 1,500 hours, but I see no dollar amount attached to what 1,500 hours costs. And then you jump over to it now being a per month cost of next year's proposal, but I don't know what last year's per month was. So what type of percentage increase in the contract are we dealing with? Can we get consistent numbers anywhere?
It was almost an 8% increase, and it was 96.6 is what we're,
96.6
in 2021 and 96.6 in 2022, both for 1,500 hours.
Correct.
1,350 were used in 2021, and I did reach out to John to ask the number of hours that we have used to date.
So $96,600 is what that 1,500 hours.
That's correct.
What's it proposed to be next year?
It's on an annual basis, I
Yeah.
believe it is, well, it is
$103,800.
103.
103. Okay, so
103.8,
Right.
which part of that will be paid for by the library.
yeah,
Overall, it's a $600 per month increase.
okay. Thank you. That answers the only question I had. It was just I wasn't tracking this. Any other questions?
That's mowing, shoveling, all of that stuff.
That's mowing, shoveling, HVAC,
No, that's right.
electrical, general maintenance, my time,
Yeah.
my helper's time to process invoices and generate reports like this and all those things. So,
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, Tiffany?
I move to authorize the signature on the agreement amendment for the 2023 shared maintenance services agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is to consider declaring Lakes Area Music Festival annual event a community festival.
Correct. So the school district hasn't passed
Thank you, John.
a new policy allowing for alcohol to be served at the Performing Arts Center. However, they need a 30-day window for the state to get a temporary liquor license. Per state statute, you cannot serve alcohol on school grounds unless you have a temporary liquor license. And a liquor license can only be issued to a club, charitable, religious, or nonprofit organization, which Lakes Area Music Festival does meet those requirements. However, there's a limit that they cannot have more than one temporary liquor license in a 30-day period, up to 4 days, so they're limited to 12 events per year. We received a liquor license request from the Lakes Area Music Festival. They want to provide alcohol at the Community Arts Center on July 29th and 30th, August 6th, 12th, and 20th. So this is not possible unless the city would declare this annual event to be a community festival. And the state leaves it up to a city to determine what constitutes a community festival. If the council does not want to determine this as a community festival, then they're asking to approve the temporary liquor license for the event to be held July 29th and 30th.
I guess I would make a motion to consider the annual Lakes Area Music Festival event that runs for 24 days as a community festival, thereby allowing Lakes Area Musical Festival to hold more than one temporary liquor license within a 30-day period, or approve the temporary liquor license for July.
You mean the first half?
Not the first half, yeah.
There we go.
Not the second, yeah, okay, my fault.
Okay, I'll second
We
first.
have a motion and a second, and I'm a little apprehensive to vote in support of this because the school district still hasn't even formally approved alcohol to be sold there. But given the timelines and the time crunches there are with all the bureaucratic government junk, I guess we'll go with it.
And I think even if the state would approve it and we'd get it back, we wouldn't actually issue it until we knew for sure that the school district was going to
So
change the
should we
policies.
add pending school board approval?
Contingent upon
Contingent.
school district approved.
Contingent to.
Yeah, I like that. Let's add that.
That'd be perfect.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next up is the ARPA funds for the EDA. Jennifer.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, the Department of Employment and Economic Development deed, the Initiative Foundation requested funds for a deed Main Street revitalization program. They were awarded $4.5 million, of which $765,600 has been allocated to the city of Brainerd. And then those funds will be used in the River Trail Corridor. Right now, the EDA is working on an application, and the EDA appointed a subcommittee who met with Bladec. The EDA also authorized Bladec to oversee or administer the application process with final approval by the EDA. So put together an application. One of the things that came out of that EDA subcommittee is that there may be a lot of small businesses that apply for maybe a facade grant, maybe a awning, something that isn't a lot of money, and these small businesses don't have that match available. So Chair Johnson suggested that this might be a really good use of ARPA funds, and the recommendation is to allocate $80,000 of those ARPA dollars to be used towards matching grants. And then also the EDA will discuss that. The subcommittee is actually meeting on Thursday to kind of hone in what that might look like so they can bring a recommendation to the EDA should the city council authorize the use of that $80,000.
I will move to authorize the allocation of $80,000 in ARPA funds to the EDA to be used as a matching grant fund for eligible organizations or businesses for the deed Main Street revitalization program.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Second.
Thanks for putting this together, Jennifer. This
You bet.
came together pretty quickly because it was what, just last week when the
Thursday.
subcommittee met, yeah. So, without any other discussion, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next up is more ARPA funds. Connie and Jennifer.
So one of the things that we wanted to use the ARPA funds for was for projects that were on the capital plan, so we could do them earlier rather than later. I'm just gonna get to that agenda item. So, it's here. So these are some items that are coming down. One of them is to have the sanitary sewer rehabilitation project that we recently awarded that would cost about $367,000. And then there's also an application for clean water funds, and we would like to use some ARPA funds as a match. So the total request between the two, we require a 30% match or 25% match, but we would like to ask for 33% match to be more competitive. So we're looking at total using $642,550 for the two public works projects to be awarded to have ARPA funds help pay for that or use as leverage for the grant.
I so moved.
Second?
I'm gonna vote no on this, just because we held a workshop in February that these projects were both presented to us. We both thought, yeah, those seem like viable projects, but we directed staff to come back with a complete list of all the potential projects so we could prioritize what we want. We haven't seen a list. We're putting these projects over and above what council direction was in February. So I'm gonna vote no on funding these projects tonight.
So then can we change the motion to?
Direct staff to bring back a
Direct
list.
staff, a list?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Well, why don't we do that then? I'll rescind my motion.
Okay.
Direct staff to come back with a itemized list on what we're gonna do with the money for next council meeting or whatever.
What's our timeline like on this?
So
I think we have plenty of time, but remind me.
Mr. Chair, if I may. So the Clean Water Act Fund application is due July 8th, so I think we're okay. And I think the HR Green recommendation for the Gully project really is using those ARPA funds is more timely just because of a match requirement and the potential to get 70% of the project or 67% of it paid for from the Clean Water Act. The other project on Sanitary isn't as pressing. But I think that here's my thought, and I'll throw it out at you. We do have a work session scheduled for a week from tonight. We have 3 items on that. Would the council be willing to add this item on the agenda
So we had a work session in February where these projects were presented to us.
Yes.
And we asked for a list of all potential projects so we could prioritize. Could we have a list to go over next week?
Potentially.
I just think it keeps it clean if we have an itemized thing, so we know if our constituents ask, well, what are you doing about that money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you think you can get us a list of, a pretty comprehensive list of whatever options that we could prioritize. These may well end up be up at the top, but I think we were right in February to say, let's look at everything and then make a decision. So we amended that motion to say,
Yep.
direct staff to bring back a list, either at the next council or at the council workshop, whenever you guys can get it pulled together.
And I'll second the motion.
I think that
Thank
keeps
you,
it
Tiffany.
clean,
Yep.
cleaner myself.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, that motion carries. You opposed?
No, no.
I was talking too fast for you.
I was slow.
Okay, update on request of funds to be returned from Lakes Area Media Collaborative.
So after the last council meeting, council directed staff to have our city attorney send an updated letter to Lakes Area Media Collaborative, as well as their boards of directors that were listed on the 990. That letter is attached to this packet. We have not heard anything.
I can't imagine.
But this letter adds a little spice. Did you read the letter?
Yes, I did.
All right.
I don't know who made that idea.
Okay, is there anything else to come before the committee tonight?
We do have somebody online. I'm not sure who it is, or if they would like to address the Personnel and Finance Committee, or if they even can.
I don't know if they can, but we've got time. Go ahead.
With the caller, at the last two digits of your phone number ends in 01? Hello?
I guess they don't.
I guess we
Did
were,
not want to talk to
I
us.
guess we were scared.
They're on the wrong spot.
Wrong meeting, okay.
Okay, with that, and we'll adjourn.